David Smith here with yet one more casino night instruction video. A few things before we start. First, this video is intended for instructional purposes for facilitating fun gambling games, not for money. Second, I don't recommend that you gamble for money. Lastly, if you're under 18, gambling for money is not legal for you. Okay, now that you've watched the basic video on hands, betting, and gameplay for Blackjack, let's talk about the special hands that come up in Blackjack and what you need to do when you see those. If you haven't watched that previous video and you're new to Blackjack, you do want to watch that video first, then come back to this one. Okay, so let's get started. First off, in the course of play, special hands come up and they allow certain things to happen or they have different payouts. So what I want to do is go through a game with you and we'll bump into all those hands along the way. Okay, so the player is going to bet 5, and once the bet's out, we can deal. So there's the player's first card, dealer has a 5, player has a 4, dealer has a hidden card. So the point of this hand is to show you some strategy that we have mentioned before. The dealer is technically weak. The dealer, you figure the dealer for a 10 card in the face down one, the mystery card, and then you figure most likely they're going to get a card, they're going to get a 10 card as well. And they don't have the choice not to take another card, they have to hit a 15. So the idea here is that the dealer is very likely to bust, so the player isn't going to risk busting. Even though 14 is a pretty bad hand, you'd like to be closer to 21. If you think the dealer's going to bust, you're just going to stand on your 14 and let the dealer bust. Let's see what happens. There's 15 like we predicted, and guess what? The dealer got 25, so the dealer busted and the player gets paid. Okay, on to the next one. Now this player's just going to let the winnings ride. So now they're betting 10. Let's see what we get. A 9 for the player, 6 for the dealer, 15 for the player, and a 6 for the dealer. Now this looks very similar to our last hand, but let's take a look and see what happens. This time the player is going to take the risk and take an extra card. The player got a 17. So the player's going to stand on 17. That's a pretty good, or I'm sorry, a 16. That's a pretty good hand. Dealer has a 13. Dealer has a 20. So the dealer's going to win that hand, takes the chips. All right. Okay, so the player's feeling confident. They're going to bet 10 again. Here we go. Rolling out the cards. An 8 for the player, 4 for the dealer. We have a second 8 for the player and a down card for the dealer. Now, when you pair with your 2 cards, you can do a thing called a pair split. So this is 16. Not the best hand to hit, but if we split them, we have to double our bet. So now the player's playing 2 hands. Each one has 8. That's much more favorable to take an extra card. So the player indicates he would like a card on that one. Now we have 18. Player's happy with that. They're going to stay. They're going to take a hit on the second 8. Another 18. They're happy with that. They're going to stay. So the player has doubled the amount they're betting in this round. Now the dealer doesn't look very strong with a 4 showing. An 8. Now they have 12. Dealer takes a card. Dealer has 19. So even though the player doubled on a pair split, the dealer ultimately got 19, so they lost both of those. Okay, let's move right along. What do we got? Player's got a 9, dealer's got a king. Player has a 14, and the dealer's showing a king. Now, this is another weak hand for the player. 14, you don't want to take a hit on that if you don't have to, because the odds are pretty good that you're going to bust. However, the dealer looks really strong. The dealer has a 10 showing. If you figure that for a 10, the dealer most likely has 20. 14 is not going to win against 20, so the player's going to take another card, and sure enough, the dealer got 24, or the player got 24. Let's say they bet 10, so they would lose that. Okay, moving right along. Now, our players lost a bunch, so they're going to bet 1. They're a little shy. Here we go. We got a 5. We got an ace for the dealer. Got a 10 for the player. That makes 15. And an ace showing for the dealer. Now, here's something that the dealer has to do. If the dealer has a blackjack right now, that means the dealer won. There's no way that this player can beat or even tie the dealer. So the dealer has to check, the dealer checks, and indeed, the dealer has a blackjack, so the player loses. Okay, players feeling like maybe the luck's going to change, so they're betting 5. Let's see what we got. We got a 7, a jack, a 17, and a no-show, or we don't show. So now 17 is a hard card to convince me that you should take another one. So they're going to stay on that, even though the dealer's showing a 10, but the dealer only has 13, takes another card, 17. This is what's called a push. We have the same number, so the player doesn't lose and doesn't win. They get their bet back, and that's all. Okay, so now the player's feeling extra lucky. They're going to bet 10, and here we go. We got a 5 for the player, a 10 for the dealer. We got a 6 for the player. That's awful nice. And a hidden card for the dealer. Now, 11 is a special hand, just like 9 and 10. So if you get 9, 10, or 11 on your first 2 cards, you can do what's called doubling down. And that's if you think that's strong and you think you're going to get a 10 as a hit, then you can double your bet and you get only 1 more card. So this player is going to do that, and that card's dealt face down. Let's take a look at what the dealer has. The dealer has 20. So let's see what that down card was. They got their 10, they got 21, so they won, and they doubled their bet. They bet 20, so they get 20 as a payoff. Pretty darn nice. Okay, one last hand. This is the hand for which the game is named. So check it out. Our player's feeling pretty good. They bet 20 bucks. Here we go. First card is a jack. Dealer has a 6. Ace, that's a blackjack. And the dealer has their down card. Now, the player's going to win. A blackjack beats any other hand except another blackjack, and then that's a push. So it doesn't matter what happens with the dealer. This player's going to win. Plus, there's something nice. A blackjack pays 3-2. So it pays a little more than 1-1. So they bet 20. That means they're going to get 30 as their payout. Pretty sweet. I want to call your attention to a hand that you would not want to double down on. Notice how we have a pair of 5s. We could double that down, double our bet, and hit on each of these as a separate hand. Unfortunately, hitting 5s is not that good. You're most likely to get a 10, you'll have 15, which again, not so good. Hitting the 10 is much better. You can end up with a very good hand hitting on a 10. The other thing is the dealer is really strong here. The dealer's showing a 10, most likely 10 underneath. So you don't want to take a big risk when the dealer's strong. So let's check this out. This player does not double down. They take 1 more card, and guess what? They got 21. The dealer had 20, so the player wins. Now I want to make a clarification here. This is 21. It's not a blackjack because it's not 2 cards. A blackjack is just an ace and a 10 card. Okay, so that explained all the special hands in blackjack. I just want to do one more thing and show you how you play a game with a bunch of people seated at your table. Okay, we have everybody seated at our table, and each player has to bet. So this player is going to bet 10, this one bets 5, and this player likes to bet interesting numbers, so they bet 6. So all the bets are out. The dealer's going to deal. What do we got? We got a queen, we got a king, we got a 6. Dealer shows an ace, not so good. 19 for that player, 13 for that player, and we got a 14 there. Now the dealer has an ace, so the dealer has to check for a blackjack. Dealer does not have a blackjack. Okay, so first player, they're going to stand on 19. Pretty ugly hand to hit. Now an ace is weird. I don't really know what to tell you. 13, you could probably take a hit on that and be okay, but you don't necessarily want to. Let's just say this person's feeling bold. They take their hit. They've got 20. They're going to stand. Now a 14, let's say this guy takes the hit also. Boom, 24. They busted. It's out. They lose their bet. And then finally the dealer goes. Now the dealer has 12 or 2. The dealer has 12 because now these are both 1. And the dealer has 22. So the dealer just lost that hand. So the dealer would pay 5 on that one, take the cards, and then the dealer pays 10 on that one, takes the cards. Now let's do this again. Let's say this guy chooses to bet 15 now. We're upping the limit. This one bets 20 and this guy bets 50. Big bet. So here we go. Bets are out. Deal the first card. There's an 8, there's a jack, and there's another 8. 8s are cheap, 3 for the dealer. Now we have 10 on this guy, 20 there, that's a good hand, and 18 there. So, 10. This guy's, got to remember the mystery card for the dealer. Okay, 10 is a number that you can double down on. With a 3 showing, the dealer looks a little weak, so this guy's going to double down. Doubles the bet, takes 1 card face down. A 20, they're going to stand on 20. 18, they're going to stand. Here comes the dealer. We've got a 7. Now we have 14, have to take another card. 24, the dealer bust. So this is a big payout for the dealer. 20, 30 for this one. What did they bet? They bet 20, so 20 for this one. And this one bet 50, we're going to give them a 50. All right, so that gives you a feel for a gameplay with more than one player opposing the dealer. In truth, you can have up to 8 people at your table. So you just have to go slow and careful and methodical. Tell everybody what you're doing so that they don't get confused. If you have to stop and explain, do that. Now that you've watched the video, a few things to think about. Run over the game in your mind and make sure you understand what you just saw. Feel free to watch the video again to clear up any questions that you might have. If you enjoyed the experience, please click like and subscribe.